Here's the immediate past flag bearer. They want to unseat him because he still has an influence or a clout and impact within the party. Dr. Asante Otchere, now that goes without a doubt that he is the most marketed candidate, 2008, 2012, 2016, 2020, 2024, and now seeking to go again in 2028, talking about Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. But looking at the marketability and the viability of the candidate, how does that play out for all five of them?
Well, I had wanted to take a different twist altogether. Let me say good evening to your viewers and to my good brother out there. In his argument, he felt that there was no need for the candidate to throw a pothead at any of the other candidate, of course, without mentioning names. I think that Agyapong did not mention anybody's name, but of course he cast aspersions and insinuations, and obviously you knew whom was really the target, what was his target. And then apart from that, Dr. Bawumia himself saying that, well, he's not there to make noise. Obviously, whom is he referring to? Others other than himself who have been making noise. Well, he's not going to insult, which people have been insulting. Obviously, it must be his opponent. You see, it is a matter of political strategy. If you get it right, it will inure to your benefit. I remember so well when Donald Trump was, contesting Mrs. Clinton in the Republican primaries. This was an unassuming, non-conventional politician that was to deal with a very conventional politician that has seen it all. And there wasn't a chance for Donald Trump to win against Madam Clinton. But because of his unconventional style and unsettling the woman, he was able to get to the negatives of the woman. And at the end of the day, he got himself elected as a Republican leader, went ahead to win the elections in 2016. And so, in as much as you don't have to abuse, insult, and be abrasive against your opponent, it does not mean that if your opponent has political weakness or weaknesses, you cannot point them out. Though it is an internal contest, how then do you get the delegate to have a rethink, a second thought, at the very person that they have had in mind? So you need to create a situation where you'll be more viable, you'll be more credible than the so-called establishment candidate or the one that appears to be the leading candidate. Of course, he will obviously be the one that will have to take more of the potheads that each of the candidates will have to throw. And that is very obvious because he himself positioning himself to tell us that, well, he is the more marketed, more experienced. Of course, he is. 8 years in opposition, 8 years in government, all as what is it called, deputy or second in command in opposition, second in command in government. He is more experienced. The others, at least, or at most, they've been what, ministers, and they could easily have been sacked, at the behest of the president. And so you do not expect a situation where they will not in any way unsettle the very person that they believe is the leading candidate according to the polls. They will have to prove to the delegate that there are better options than the very person that they've been thinking about. And that will have to mean that they will have to showcase whatever they themselves, can put forth and what they are made of, the resources they possess, how resourceful they are, how marketed they are, how grassroots in itself that they are. And so I realized in the speech of Dr. Bawumia, for example, that it appears that he's so worried about grassroots because if you listen to his speech, it's more like you are appealing to only the middle class and probably above the middle class. The grassroots are always in the majority. If you listen to the language style of Kennedy Agyapong, that is more of a grassroots language.
I see. You see Bawumia
equally interested.
Bawumia focusing the Bawumia language you say appeals to the middle class and upper class, and it doesn't resonate. It doesn't resonate with the grassroots. From what you heard?
It has not.
You think Agyapong does that better?
The point is that, yes, the point, and it even showed when they were in the contest before the 2024 elections, the special presidential primaries. You could see that Mr. Kennedy Agyapong had a superior message than Dr. Bawumia. Dr. Bawumia was constrained because of the things that he said in the past, right? The kinds of things that he said in the past before the 2016 elections, before the 2020 elections. And so he was constrained. Now he doesn't know, or he didn't know whether to say A, B, C, and D. Because whatever you say, your records are there. They will just pull it out and show to you that what we are saying today is exactly opposite of what you said yesterday. Yes.
So let me ask you.
And in that case,
yes, he is the most marketed, but also how viable is the candidature from where you sit?
I'm of the view that he's the most marketable. Yes, no two ways about that. But he's equally more of a disaster for the NPP. You see, when they lost the elections in 2024 on the same platform, long before we got to this particular position, I said that the main problem of the NPP, the main dilemma of the NPP would be Dr. Bawumia, because they wouldn't know whether to ditch him or to go with him again. That's the main problem. You see, if you have a system in which what the NDC is running today, the economy that the NDC is running today, if they keep to this economy, and even things get better, on what basis would Ghanaians vote for Dr. Bawumia? Because if what they inherited from you has become better than what you left, there is no reason. It can only take a different face to tell us something different, sweeter and better than what the NDC will have been doing today up to the period of the 2028 elections. I have been thinking about this because it will have to mean that the economy that the NDC is running today under President Mahama, Vice President Professor Nana Pokuagyemang, important ministers like the Agric Minister, the Finance Minister, and so on and so forth, the Chief of Staff, and the way the kinds of things that they are doing in this country. The only reason that any rational Ghanaian can say that I'm going back to Dr. Bawumia is when the economy becomes worse than what they inherited.
Okay. Well, Professor Sapon,
that's it. So the only reason why Ghanaians decided to vote for Mr. Mahama was because the economy that they inherited, they made it worse than what they inherited from Mr. Mahama.
I see. Professor Sapon, so